Right, welcome to my head cam on this journey to paradise. Let's get a selection of sockets. Can't remember which one the sump plug is. Let's go to the unknown, which is extremely painful still. Oh, sorry. Head butted you off the car then. Right. So we managed to do a bit of dressing up of the engine. So you can see we painted the rocker cover yellow. We've also done a bit more of the pipe work blue, just to make it pop a little bit more. So future episodes we'll be taking the intake manifold off, and yes, Kevin, I know you're there. We're taking the intake manifold off and painting that up and tightening that up a little bit, as well as some of the other stuff in the engine bay. But today, like I said, we're going to be doing the oil pan, and in order to do that we need to get the engine flush through. So I bought some Wins engine flush. Surprise, surprise. I mean, Wins, come on man, how many times have I asked for sponsorship and you're just ignoring me? I mean, you're killing me, come on. What are you waiting for? Anyway, we've got some Wins engine flush. So with this we've got to bring the engine up to temperature. Once it comes up to temperature we add the contents of that can and we run it for another 20 minutes. At that point then we can drain the oil, remove the sump, remove the pickup, get everything sealed back up and put together. So let's crack on. So now that's up to temperature, we shut the engine off and we can add this via the oil filler. See how well it pours. Simple as that. Now we can start the car back up, leave it run for 20 minutes, and then we can start to flush the oil. Right, I've not put the TT on the ramps yet, so let's give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Right, welcome to my head cam on this journey to paradise. Let's get a selection of sockets. Can't remember which one the sump plug is. Let's go to the unknown, which is extremely painful still. Oh, sorry. Head butted you off the car then. Right. Too big. Perfect. So the sump is a 19mm. Yep, definitely a 19mm. By this point I started to realise just how difficult it was to try and get any kind of purchase on the sump plug, so I should have known that something was wrong here. after hand cranking it with the open end of the spanner, we're finally starting to get some movement on it. And there we have it, some very dirty, some very runny oil. So assuming everything is okay, we move back to cracking off the gearbox bolts. But little did I know this would soon be my downfall. And there's a well placed third really hard to get to bolt behind the dog bone mount. Just release the oil filler. Try not to line the oil. At this point I'm in that much pain with my neck I can't carry on, so I decide to nip the bolts back up. Plus the issue with the sump plug not threading properly, I decided to kind of turn back and call it a day. So I tried to install the new sump plug and it was having none of it, and actually I noticed some of the threads come away on the actual sump plug itself when I removed it. At this point I'm not looking for any specific torque, I just want to get this thing done up to a point where it'll actually hold oil. So I'm just being careful to retighten and retorque all the gearbox bolts to make sure that they're all nipped up. So in theory at this point the sump's not moved, so the seal between the gearbox and the sump should still be good. So basically some idiot at the dealership, or whoever touched this car before, has over tightened the sump plug and has stripped the threads on it. So I'm struggling. I've just managed to just nip it up, but if I take it any further it strips the threads. So I think it's tight enough to hold oil for now, but we're going to have to order a complete new sump pan. So it makes sense that I hold off doing the oil pickup until I've got the new pan and I get the gasket and seals and everything to go with that I've lost. So I'm going to do the oil filter, get the new one on, add the oil, get her back up and running, check for leaks. Hopefully we're all good. We can get to Mallory Friday, get it tuned up, and then I'll get some ramp time. Hopefully Mr. Aspley allows me to use his ramp, and then we can get it all done in one without being an agony line on the floor. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Right, oil filter pliers. Well guys, that was a bit of catastrophic failure, let me tell you why. So, whichever Muppet, chimpanzee, whatever you want to call them, last worked on this car and done the oil, they've over-tightened the sump bolt, and it's stripped the threads on the sump pad, so they mackled the bolt in. I thought it was difficult to get the bolt out. I think they put some RTV on it to seal it back in. So that meant that I've had a real problem resealing the sump bolt. But I've managed to get it as tight as I can and to get it to seal. I might just pop a bit of RTV around it now, just let it dry. But ultimately I'm going to have to get it up on the ramp and replace the sump anyway. So that'll give me the opportunity to get the bits I'm missing on the oil pickup pipe. I could have reused what was there because I can't see it being in that bad a shape. So there's the gasket for the turbo oil return which I'm missing, and the O-ring for the actual oil pickup pipe itself. But I'll get hold of Cloud9, see if I can get some extras of them. It's my fault. I received them, I put them down, can't find them. So I've put 4.5 litres of oil back in her. Doesn't seem to be leaking at the minute. Let's get her started up, get her dropped back off the ramp and make sure she's watertight. I've changed the filter as well. That's as good as what we're going to get for the Mallory session, unfortunately. I was hoping to have new oil pickup pipe and everything in there, so nothing could possibly go wrong. Well, something can always possibly go wrong, but limit the chance of something going wrong. But yeah, should know my own limitations. I've got a neck injury at the minute. I shouldn't be lying on the floor. Everybody's told me I shouldn't be lying on the floor. Thought I knew best, and obviously learnt my limitations very, very quickly, to the point where I couldn't even lift the ratchet up to undo the bolts. But I've refitted everything as it come back out, so everything should be fine. So let's give her a start and check she's not leaking.
So what a nightmare. I should have known. Because I backed them gearbox bolts off, it's broke the seal. So now not only is the sump plug leaking, we've got leaks coming from the gearbox as well. Joy. So I've managed to order another sump, complete sump. Should be here in a couple of days. I'll have to stick some cardboard or collection tray or something under it for now. And yeah, not ideal. What a screw up this video is.
Well guys, everybody has one of them days, you know, them days where you think I should just never have got out of bed this morning. And I've achieved absolutely nothing. In fact, I've set myself back probably about a week. So as of my own stupidity and the actions of the individual that worked on the TT before me, it's now rendered useless until further notice, or until I can get a new sump for it. I think it's important to post the videos that go wrong as well as the ones that go right, so I learn and you guys learn from my mistakes. But apologies in advance guys, I don't win them all. And unfortunately, as a result of what's happened today, the dyno tuning session at Mallory that was meant to take place this Friday morning is going to have to be postponed, because obviously we can't take a car that's leaking oil heavily on their nice shiny dyno.